Hello students. So I welcome you all to my class. In this video, I'm going to discuss about what motivation. Okay. So I will cover certain points. The points I'm going to cover in this video are motivation, definitions, nature and characteristics of motivation. So before starting the video, it is a humble request to everyone to be very attentive. Okay. So let's start the video. So at the very outset, we must understand the concept of motivation. Okay, for that particular purpose, we'll have to go through certain points. Okay, the points we have to go through are: number one, motivation is the process that initiates, guides, and maintains goal-oriented behaviors. So here, if we ask ourselves what motivation is, then we will get the answer. Okay, what will be the answer? It is nothing but a process. Okay, what type of process it is? It is a process that can initiate, that can guide, and that can maintain goal-oriented behavior. For example, in someone's life, there might be a particular destination. Okay, in someone's life, there might be a particular goal. Okay, uh, similarly, we can say in a particular classroom, okay, the teacher will have to motivate the student towards learning. That means learning is that particular goal, and if as a teacher you are motivating your students, that means what? There are certain responsibilities within you so that you can attract, okay, the students. You can grow, you can develop certain behaviors which are goal oriented among your students to learn a particular lesson. Okay, so from that point of view, we can say motivation is the process that can initiate, guide, okay, maintain what? Goal oriented behavior, specifically among your students. Okay, so this is all about the first point. What is the second point? The second point is the word motivation derived from the Latin word movere, okay, which means to move. Okay, so we have a particular Latin word. What is the word? Movere, and the meaning of this particular Latin word is what? To move. Okay, so this is all about the origin of the word motivation. What is the next point? It is what causes you to act, whether it is getting a glass of water to reduce thirst or reading a book to gain knowledge. So here it is, in a sense, we can say a thing that can make you to act, okay, that can encourage you to do certain things. For example, it might be what? Getting a glass of water to reduce thirst. Suppose you were thirsty, and for that particular purpose, okay, you are expecting, okay, to get a glass of water. So that is also a motivating factor. Okay, one more example: reading a book to gain knowledge. Suppose you want to gain knowledge, and for that particular purpose you have to go through what? Reading a particular book. Okay, so this is also, in a sense, we can say a drive that can make you to do something. Okay, so this is all about the third point. What is the next point? Motivation involves the biological, emotional, social, and cognitive forces that activate behavior. So there are certain forces that can activate our behavior. Okay, what kind of forces they are? That forces might be what? Biological, okay, emotional, social, cognitive, okay, I mean to say the mental, etc. So this is all about the next. Okay, this is all about the last what point regarding the concept of motivation. So I hope you understood. Now we can proceed to the next slide. So here in this slide we are going to throw some light, okay, on the definitions of motivation. There are various numbers of definitions, okay, regarding motivation, but I am going to discuss only two with you. Okay, what is the first definition? According to B.F. Skinner, motivation in school learning involves arousing, persisting, sustaining, and directing desirable behavior. So regarding school learning, if we observe motivation, then it involves certain things. What are the certain things it involves? At first, it involves arousing interest of the learners. Okay, and after what happened, persisting the interest after arousing. As a teacher, you will have to persist those level of interest among your students, and this is the second point. And what is the third one? Sustaining after arousing, after persisting. Okay, you have to what sustain those interest, okay, level of interest among your students. And after that, as a teacher, you should know how to direct the desirable behavior of the students to learn a particular lesson. Okay, so this is all about the first definition. What is the second one? According to Woodward, motivation is the state of the individual which disposes him to certain behavior for seeking goal. Okay, it is nothing but a state of an individual, okay, that can encourage that particular individual to certain behavior. Okay, there are certain sorts of behavior, and for that particular what behavior, he is, in a sense we can say, able to what get a goal or destination. So this is all about the second definition, okay, which is, in a sense we can say, by Woodward. Okay, so these are all about some definitions of motivation. I hope you understood. Now we can proceed to the next slide. So in this slide, we are going to discuss nature and characteristics of motivation. So let's have a look. What are the nature and characteristics? Number one, motivation is a psychological concept. Okay, it refers to the internal process that cannot be directly observed. So motivation, in a sense we can say, it is a concept which is purely psychological. Okay, so from that point of view we can say, okay, it is an internal process. You cannot see, you cannot touch, okay, which is, in a sense we can say, which cannot be directly observed. Indirectly you will have to observe this type of concept. Okay, otherwise, in a sense we can say, it is not a concrete one, it is an abstract concept. Okay, so in simple sense we can say it is purely psychological. Okay, motivation is a psychological concept. Okay, what is the second one? It may be financial or non-financial. So motivation can be financial and, okay, what, non-financial. For example, in a particular company, okay, if the boss, okay, in that particular company is introducing certain in a sense we can say incentives, or he is promoting, okay, the employees, that means he is trying to motivate his what of employees, okay, so that they can work properly. So this is all about the financial nature of motivation. That means money is involved here. But in case of non-financial motivation, money is not involved. Okay, if the boss, okay, in a particular company is organizing certain motivational speech for his employees, then this kind of motivation is called non-financial motivation. So from that point of view we can say it may be financial or non-financial. Okay, what is the third one? It may be positive or negative. Motivation can be positive or negative. For example, suppose as a teacher you are announcing certain rewards for your student, and you are saying that if you are able to pass with flying colors, then I will give you this one. Okay, so for that particular purpose the students will read and try to get the reward. Okay, that type of motivation is called positive motivation. And the example of negative motivation, suppose if you are saying that if you do not do this homework I will punish you. So for the fear of punishment, if the student is doing the homework, that type of motivation is called what? Negative motivation. One more example, suppose if a student is studying or reading hard not to fail in the examination, then that type of motivation is called negative motivation. So motivation may be positive or negative. Okay, so what is the next one? It is a continuous process. So motivation is endless. Okay, it is a continuous process. It is not like that you motivate someone and after that you no need to motivate him. It is not like that you are watering a flower. After watering a flower, next day you should not water. You will have to water the flower. Getting the point? You will have to motivate your student, because with the passage of time, the mental state gets changed. Okay, so from that particular point of view, we can say motivation is not, in a sense, we can say, uh, process that can be stopped, or that can be ended. Okay, it is a continuous process. Okay, so what is the next point? It is need based. So you will have to grow the interest among your students. Okay, what are their needs? You will have to know and understand them. So if the motivation is not need based, then that motivation is futile, meaningless. Okay, so from that point of view, we can say motivation is need based, and it is one of the major characteristics of motivation. Okay, so we can proceed to the next slide. What is the next characteristic of motivation? It differs from one person to another. So as we have understood that the people, they are, in a sense, we can say, not alike. Okay, the people, the individuals are different. Okay, so we have the concept of individual differences. So from that point of view, we can say their needs are also different, their wants are also different. So we can say motivation also differs from one person to another. Okay, so this is all about the point, and that is also one of the characteristics. What is the characteristics? Motivation differs from one person to another. One person's desires, one person's aspirations may be different from another person. Okay, so from that point of view, we can say motivation is also, in a sense, we can say it is different. Okay, it varies. Okay, it varies, but in a sense, we can say regarding the individual differences among the students, among your students. Now what is the next point? It is a complex and dynamic process. So it is obvious that the process of motivation, it is very much complex and it is dynamic. Okay, the basis of time, the needs, the aspirations, okay, in a sense we can say, can change. So from that point of view, the level of motivation can also, in a sense, we can say it is dynamic. Okay, and we can understand the mind is also, in a sense, we can say, the complex phenomena, isn't it? So with the passage of time, when the desires get changed, when the aspirations get changed, so from that point of view, the level of motivation can also be different. So it is not a simple process. It is obvious that it is a complex and dynamic process. Okay, what is the next point? It gives direction to our behavior. Now, as a teacher, when you are going to motivate your students, that means you are trying to give a proper direction to the behavior of your students, so that they can be motivated towards what? Learning. Okay, so from that point of view, simply we can say it can give direction to our behavior. What is the next point? It is a process. Okay, it starts with need and ends with the fulfillment of needs and wants. So it is obvious that motivation is nothing but a very systematic process, and this process starts with need, okay, wants, aspirations, and it ends with the fulfillment of needs and wants. In a classroom, suppose gaining knowledge for the students, okay, this is a need, and after that, when they are able to gain the knowledge through the process of motivation, then this is the complete process. Okay, so from that point of view, we can say motivation is nothing but a systematic process. Okay, what is the next one? Motivation is goal oriented. So there must be a particular destination, there should be a particular goal. If there is no goal, if there is no destination, if there is no objective behind motivation, then motivation is futile and meaningless. For example, in a classroom, okay, we'll have to make the students understand that they should have a particular objective behind learning something. Okay, if they do not have an objective, then that learning is futile, that learning is meaningless. So obviously we can say that motivation is goal oriented. Okay, these are all about certain nature and characteristics of motivation. I hope you understood. Thank you. Keep learning.